that one.
Yeah, so this is the real live stream. This is the real the one we spent the last 2 hours doing was a fake one. Let's hit play before we lose the audience.
Yeah.
It's really crazy when a Reuters reporter on Twitter is giving you a more realistic assessment than the people secreting themselves inside of our own so-called MAGA tent who are telling you Trump's gone crazy, the 25th Amendment. What are you talking about, liberals? No, I'm talking about people pretending to be one of us who grifted off the Trump administration the entire time. That's what Bongino is talking about. A bunch of influencer bullshitters who tried to make a fortune off Trump's name. And the second a level 10 decision I made, they shit the bed, started freaking out, doing this bullshit routine. Trump has lost it. He's gone crazy. Here's a Reuters reporter at Phil D. Stewart. Iranian authorities see the truth with the U.S. and Israel as a strategic victory. But they emerge battered and isolated with an economy in tatters, little prospect of rapid recovery, and an impoverished, embittered population. After weeks of U.S. and Israeli strikes, many Iranians have lost their jobs, prices have surged, factories, power plants, railways, airports, and bridges have been destroyed, and the critical trading relationship with the Gulf states has been severed, maybe for decades. This is Reuters. This is not some big pro-MAGA outlet. Is there something about that you don't like? How come GB News gets it? GB News is a foreign outlet. They're pretty fair, however. The foreign media outlet. Here's a host on GB News just stating the fairly obvious. It said you've got to move media offshore for them to get a realistic assessment of where Donald Trump's head is. No, it's not 25th Amendment territory, you losers. It may be psychiatric, Baker Act time for you, talking about it, but not for the president. I promise he's in a really good spot. Here, check this out.
Said it before. A lot of people more wise than me have also said it. Take him seriously, but not literally when he says that a civilization will die tonight. He's talking as a deal maker, not a politician. Because when you're dealing with a religious theocracy that thinks nothing of slaying its own people, you have to speak in a language that they understand.
Yep.
Putting a line in the sand for the Iranian regime because he is losing patience, and quite right too.
Yeah, like these are the same things that we said when they were losing it the other day.
They just, I look at these people and shake my head and think, your poor brain, where did it go?
Yeah.
You just, maybe the Republican Party should put out canned speech for them.
Well,
nah, that wouldn't work because those Republicans are off the wall.
Yeah. So we already had the live stream and we're just doing like a duo. This is not a do-over. This is just us. Like we saw this video with Bongino. And we felt, okay, we wanted to fix the audio issues that we had earlier, and we were like, well, let's just go live and talk about this. But let's look at the thing that's going on right now. We've talked already extensively about what's going on with the so-called MAGA influencers. These are people who, yes, they've been respected because at a time when it was unpopular to stand with President Trump, they did. But in hindsight, it may have been for self-preservation because most of them were seen as conservatives and they were equally being attacked by left-wing media and leftist outlets that essentially bundles anyone who doesn't say that they are 50,000 genders and they agree to the most fringe ideologies and policies possible. You are the enemy, so they fit the bill for being the enemy. So you could say that it was self-preservation for them. But now that we're seeing something that, like Bongino says, Trump makes a decision that is very unpopular that needs to be made. We saw these videos of Democrats in the past. They said the very same things that Trump has said about the Iranians. And because the Democrats said it, they get a pass. Like, how is it suddenly a war crime for someone to post a tweet that says, you have to come strike a deal or we're going to end your way of doing things?
And the worst part about all of this is Trump put the two people from Iran who are talking in the ceasefire in a no-win situation. And he also knows that they can't communicate a ceasefire to the IRGC because the IRGC thinks they're in charge now. There will not be a ceasefire.
And no one is talking about the infighting that's already going on in the IRGC. There's a serious infighting going on.
About the missiles and the drones that the IRGC is still firing off.
Yeah.
During a ceasefire.
Yeah. So it's very easy. It's very easy for the likes of Tucker Carlson and Megyn Kelly to jump ship at this moment. But here's what Joe Biden and the other Democrats said.
We will not allow Iran to acquire a nuclear weapon.
If I'm the president, we will attack Iran. Whatever stage of development they might be in their nuclear weapons program in the next 10 years, during which they might foolishly consider launching an attack on Israel, we would be able to totally obliterate them. That's a terrible thing to say.
Oh, that's a war crime.
Who run Iran need to understand that.
Yeah, obliterate.
Nuclear armed Iran is not a challenge that can be contained. It would threaten the elimination of Israel, the security of Gulf nations, and the stability of the global economy. It risks triggering a nuclear arms race in the region and the unraveling of the Non-Proliferation Treaty. That's why a coalition of countries is holding the Iranian government accountable. And that's why the United States will do what we must to prevent Iran from obtaining a nuclear weapon.
But we'll give them billions of dollars.
Iran will not get a nuclear weapon. I made that clear when I came into office.
And look, I mean, Iran has American blood on their hands, okay? And what we saw in terms of just this attack on Israel, 200 ballistic missiles, what we need to do to ensure that Iran never achieves the ability to be a nuclear power, that is one of my highest priorities. So if you have proof.
All right, so we have a few people who are watching online. Send your thoughts and your reactions to the videos or the comments or the things that are going on the screen. Just go ahead and engage. We will read your comments in real time.
To take whatever action is necessary to defend our forces and our interests against Iran and Iran-backed terrorists.
Which foreign country do you consider to be our greatest adversary?
I think there's an obvious one in mind, which is Iran. Iran has American blood on their hands, okay? This attack on Israel, 200 ballistic missiles. What we need to do to ensure that Iran never achieves the ability to be a nuclear power, that is one of my highest priorities.
So what's the message to Iran?
Don't.
As President Biden said, just don't.
Exactly.
Yeah, so so it's okay for Hillary to say we will obliterate Iran. That's not a war crime. That's not a war crime. It's okay.
That's a sound strategic plan.
The only reason they have an issue with what Trump said is because it was Trump who said it. It doesn't mean that there's anything seriously wrong with that strategy. It's simply because Trump said it. Okay. We didn't get to play this clip with MTG. This is where the hypocrisy of this entire thing is just seeping out, because you have a disagreement within the base, and then the next thing, they start doing a media tour.
Isn't it funny that Marjorie Taylor Greene was never on CNN until now?
Oh, and they love her. Look, when the people who had sworn to oppose any conservative voice out there in the Senate or in media are happy to have you, and you're very comfortable with them, okay, it just looks like a betrayal to me. Okay, it looks like a betrayal.
It's a betrayal.
Yeah, because CNN doesn't allow conservatives to be comfortable around them. Scott Jennings is on their staff, and every night he has to put up with them pushing back on common sense commentary. So let's just listen to this.
You recently called for the president to be removed from office under the 25th Amendment to the Constitution after that threat that he made about destroying the whole civilization of Iran. The president has a long history of shocking and unprecedented social media posts. Why was this the final straw for you?
Because it's absolute madness. How can any person that is mentally stable call for an entire civilization of people to be murdered?
So, Marjorie Taylor Greene, you just lied. You just lied.
Yep.
Okay, so let's just put it in there.
To be wiped out, to never come back again. That's what the president called for. And
no, that's not what he called for.
There's serious instability in his thinking, that he would, not only would he even say that in a private room, perhaps with his advisors, but actually go to his megaphone, his Truth Social, and post that for the entire country and the entire world. And it's unreal. This should never be tolerated.
Marjorie Taylor Greene, you resigned. You thought that your seat would go to a Democrat so you could thumb your nose at Trump and blame Trump for your district or your state losing that seat. But a Republican who was endorsed by Trump won. Yeah. And I'm sure that you're so butthurt about the entire thing that this is the one opportunity you have to make him hurt. It's not working.
Right.
It's not working. I'm watching this and I'm feeling so sorry for her, but do you know what? The nature of politics in the United States is that people like her will be rewarded one way or the other. So it's unfortunate, but that's the way it is. You know, we'll deal with it. But when it comes to the Make America Great Again movement, I think MTG is essentially irrelevant at this point.
Well, one thing about this Marjorie Taylor Greene is when I watched her in the past, she would be talking about something that was very serious, but she never had a serious look on her face. It was always big smiles.
Yeah.
I'm in front of the camera. I'll smile. I'll look pretty.
It's all performative. It's all performative. It's all performative.
I mean, women can spot that stuff that's fake as all get out from a mile away when it comes to a woman doing it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And let's, people talk about Joe Biden like he was the second coming of Obama. So here's what he said about Iran.
Germany, if you're unwilling to reflate your market.
Oh, for NATO, I think. That was NATO.
Take on your responsibility in the rest of the world as a world leader. Why are we the only ones that have that responsibility? Why are we the only economic engine? We are clearly the biggest. We can say to the Germans and our friends in Europe, we're all in this. NATO's important. We stick with NATO. But I'm not sure we need 289,000 American troops at a total cost of $102 billion if you add everything up. Maybe you should do more. Now, if you want to open up your markets, if you're willing to help alleviate third world debt, if you'll step in and help Mexico, if you'll step in and help Nigeria, like we are, then we can play.
All right, so Trump has said all of these things, and do you know what they replied with? He's alienating our allies.
Yeah.
He said the exact same things. So
how can you call a country an ally when they don't do their part?
No.
That's not an ally. An ally is somebody that stands there right beside you and is equal.
Yeah.
Not somebody who sits there and says, well, America's put all their soldiers and bases and equipment in here. We don't have to do nothing.
Yeah. Yeah, we talked about this this statement by the First Lady, and we didn't get to it in the last stream. Should we listen to this? I think we can play this. So Melania decided that she needed to make a statement about the whole thing about people trying to rope her into the Epstein friends group. And they had tried to say that it was Epstein that introduced her to the president and so on. And she makes this speech. And of course, now the usual suspects are trying to twist this into a conflict between the First Lady and the president, because the president said he didn't know anything about her speech. Of course, he would say that because there are things that my wife does that I don't know anything about, So let's listen to this and then give our thoughts to this speech. We'll pick up from this point.
I have never been legally accused or convinced of a crime in connection with Epstein sex trafficking, abuse of minors, and other repulsive behavior. The false smears about me from mean-spirited and politically motivated individuals and entities looking to cause damage to my good name, to gain financially and climb politically, must stop. My attorneys and I have fought these unfounded and baseless lies with success and will continue to maintain my sound reputation without hesitation. To date, several individuals and companies have been legally obligated to publicly apologize and retract their lies about me, such as Daily Beast, James Carville, and HarperCollins, UK. Now is the time for Congress to act. Epstein was not alone. Several prominent male executives resigned from their powerful positions after this matter became widely politicized. Of course, this doesn't amount to guilt, but we still must work openly and transparently to uncover the truth. I call on Congress to provide the women who have been victimized by Epstein with a public hearing specifically centered around the survivors. Give these victims their opportunity to testify under oath in front of Congress with the power of sworn testimony. Each and every woman should have her day to tell her story in public if she wishes, and then her testimony should be permanently entered into the congressional record. Then, and only then, we will have the truth.
So that's her speech. That's the essence of her speech. And we have left-wing media outlets trying to twist this into saying that there's a rift between the First Lady and the President, and have these hearings and have these proceedings. Excuse me, didn't you just spend the last 10 months accusing the first family of being in cahoots with Epstein? Now she's calling for hearings. That's also a problem. It's like what we saw earlier in the week. Trump is bombing Iran. It's a problem. He enters into a ceasefire, oh, he's a coward.
Yeah.
So
and
you
people know you can't have it both ways.
No, you can't.
That's what makes no sense. Yeah, bomb Iraq or Iran and then go to a ceasefire and both are bad.
Yeah.
What is that?
It makes no sense.
Thank you.
All right. So, we're just going to keep this live stream short because we wanted to just get these two stories in. We loved the Dan Bongino video. We were just going over the equipment and we ran into these videos and we said, hey, should we? And then I hit the go live button. All right. So if you're watching, usually we have live interaction. You can leave a comment in the live chat before we go offline. But usually we also read the comments that come in after the live stream is ended, and usually those enter in as comments. Now, if you're just joining us, consider subscribing to the channel. Hit the like button if you like our commentary on this. Subscribe, hit the bell icon, and consider sharing the video. And if you would like to help us keep the lights on, literally, please consider sending us a super chat, super thank, and support us with your donations. And check out the merchandise. I am trying to work on merchandise. I haven't gotten around to creating new merch, but we're going to be providing new merch in a few days. Right. So, Patricia, is there anything that we missed in our commentary covering these videos that we just watched before we say goodnight?
Only that they think there is a threat of Melania filing lawsuits against the perpetrators.
Okay.
For defamation of character.
Well,
and she would win that hands down.
And then they would say that it is unbecoming for a first lady to use her power to oppress people. I mean, like, these guys are predictable. You're going to see the headlines. You're going to see the headlines. They're going to make it look like, okay, so now they are the victims. So it's just crazy what we're seeing. This is upside down world, but you know what? Let's just break out the popcorn. Oh, look,
I would be behind
tea.
her 100% to sue James Carville, because maybe then it would shut his mouth.
Well, we're here for it. All right. Thank you for sticking around for this second part of the live stream. We're going to be back again tomorrow. Okay, this is tonight my time. So tonight we're going to be back again for another live stream. We came back because we had some technical issues with the first live stream. I figured that it was fixed, and while we were testing, I figured we'll just go live real quick and then see what we could do with the little time we have together. Patricia, thanks for being a sport. And do you know what just happened? I put James to bed. He was asleep, and as soon as I hit go live and the video was playing, the door opens and he walks in, and now he's laying on a pillow right beside me, complaining that I'm doing a live stream while he's trying to go to bed. I put, so hey, it's that's being a dad.
This one has started again too.
Yeah.
What, live only makes you think you need to join the conversation, huh?
Yeah. Anyway, thank you guys for clicking and joining this live stream. We'll catch you on the next one, and good night and God bless.